Chosen one, you did not happen upon this moment by accident. Heaven has arranged this hour. As you hear these words now, there is a shift of frequencies in your spirit, unseen, yet unmistakably felt. This is your divine appointment. Before another minute passes, you must recognize what is truly unfolding in your life. The unrest stirring your soul, the wakefulness at 3 a.m., the sense that something immense is about to break open. This is not anxiety. This is activation. Heaven is lifting the veil, and you are being positioned for something so specific, so exquisitely timed, that every trial you have endured has been preparation for this season. I know you have asked, why has the road been so hard? I know you have wondered if you missed your turn, if your best years slipped through your fingers while you were busy just surviving. But here is what the enemy absolutely doesn't want you to understand. Your delays were not denials. They were divine detentions. You were held in waiting because you were being built up, refined through fires that would have destroyed anyone not carrying what you carry. There is something encoded in your spiritual DNA that sets you apart. You have known it all along, even when you could not articulate it. You see things others miss. You sense conversations yet to be spoken. You step into a room and instantly sense the atmosphere before a word is spoken. That is not coincidence. That is consecration. You were set apart before your first breath, marked for a purpose that demanded a specific season of preparation. Think of Esther, an orphan girl in obscurity, living in a foreign land under a foreign roof. Nothing about her circumstances screamed chosen, yet heaven watched every moment, orchestrating every detail, positioning her in a palace for such a time as this. She didn't audition, she was placed there. And when the moment came for courageous intervention, she was ready because of her hidden years. You are in your Esther moment. Right now, palace doors are swinging open, and I mean actual doors. Real opportunities, divine connections held in heaven's reserve until this precise hour. But here's what you must understand. You were not brought to the palace to vacation. You were positioned for impact. You were placed for intervention, for a level of influence that demands everything you learned in the wilderness. I know some of you feel the weight of that truth. You're thinking, but I'm weary. I've been fighting for so long. I don't know if I'm strong enough for another battle. Listen, the exhaustion you feel is not weakness. It's the final stage before breakthrough. You're not falling apart. You're falling into place. There is a world of difference between breaking down and breaking through. What you're experiencing now is the sound of old structures collapsing to make way for new ones built on the foundation you didn't realize you were laying. I've been where you are, sitting in darkness, wondering if God forgot my address, watching others be promoted while I remained in the same season, doing the same work, seeing no visible fruit from my faithfulness. Then, just when I thought I'd been passed over forever, heaven moved, not gradually, but suddenly. Doors locked for years flew open in a day. Relationships that seemed impossible materialized without my pursuit. Resources I had prayed for arrived without chasing. And then I understood. The timing wasn't late. It was exact. That's where you are now. Exact timing. Everything that felt like it was taking forever was taking exactly as long as it needed to take. You couldn't have handled what you're stepping into 3 years ago. The version of you back then wasn't ready for the responsibility, the visibility, the spiritual warfare that comes with elevation. But you're ready now. You've been forged, tested, refined. You've learned to worship in the prison cell like Paul and Silas, See Acts 16:25-26. You've learned to stand when every part of you wanted to run. You've learned that your validation doesn't come from human applause, but from heaven's approval. And now the shift. You feel it. It's not coming, it's already here. The atmosphere around your life is changing. Conversations you've tried to force are now flowing naturally. Favor you begged for is beginning to rest on you effortlessly. People who never had reason to think of you are reaching out. This is not luck. This is God's hand positioning you for the next chapter. But you must grasp something important about this season. Hear it with your spirit, not just your ears. With greater awareness comes greater resistance. The moment you start walking in this awakening, the moment you move in the authority you were always meant to carry, hell takes notice. The enemy was content letting you live small, letting you doubt yourself, convincing you that you're ordinary. But the moment you start moving like the chosen one you are, warfare intensifies. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you to prepare you, because those attacks you've been facing, unexpected obstacles, relationships that soured overnight, financial pressures from nowhere, those aren't signs you're on the wrong path. They're confirmation you're on the right one. The enemy doesn't fire his weapons at people who aren't a threat. If you're under attack, it's because you're about to break into territory he occupies, and he knows he's about to lose ground. Think about Joseph, thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned. Each step looked like defeat, but heaven directed every detail, positioning him in Egypt for a famine he didn't even know was coming. The palace didn't make him. It was the pit, the prison, the years of being overlooked that built something in him the throne demanded. And when his moment came, when Pharaoh called, he wasn't bitter. He was ready. He had wisdom to interpret dreams and character to steward authority without abusing it. You have been in your prison season. You have been refined in obscurity where no one could see you, where there was no audience, no applause. And that is precisely why you can be trusted with what's coming, because you learned faithfulness when no one watched. You learned worship when there was no breakthrough insight. You learned giving when you barely had enough for yourself. Heaven kept a record of every single moment. The doors that are now opening are not rewards for what you did. They are alignment with your purpose. You are not being blessed because you earned it. You're being positioned because you're called to it. There's a critical difference. Earning implies you worked your way into God's favor. Positioning means you were always destined for this, but you had to become the person who could carry it without being destroyed by it. And here's what makes this moment so pivotal. You are not stepping into blessing. You are stepping into assignment. You are not being elevated so you can relax and enjoy life. You are being elevated so you can reach people you could not reach from where you were. There are souls connected to your obedience. There are deliverances hanging on your yes. There are generations watching to see if you'll walk through when heaven opens the door, or if you'll shrink back because it feels too big, too visible, too risky. Let me tell you what I see in the Spirit. I see you standing at thresholds you never thought you'd reach, and fear whispers, "Who do you think you are?" Remember where you came from. Remember what you did. Remember all your failures, but that voice is not from heaven. Heaven's voice says, "I have called you by name. You are mine. I have redeemed you. I have equipped you. Now move." See Isaiah 43:1. The identity shift happening right now is not optional. You cannot continue to view yourself as a victim when heaven has declared you a victor. You cannot keep living like a beggar when you're revealed as an heir. You cannot keep speaking scarcity when abundance is your inheritance. Your words carry weight now. There is an authority in your voice that wasn't there before. When you decree what heaven has already established, creation must respond. Some of you have been speaking to mountains, but with timid tones, as though you lack right. Let me settle this. Right now, you have every right. You are not asking permission from powers that have no authority over you. You are enforcing what has already been decreed in heaven. The battle is not whether God will move, it is whether you will choose to believe you are authorized to call it forth. This is your Gideon moment. Remember him hiding in the winepress, certain he was the least in his family and from the weakest clan in Israel. An angel shows up and calls him a mighty warrior, present tense, because heaven sees you not as you see yourself, but as you were created to be. Gideon's problem wasn't his capability, it was his identity. The moment he saw himself how heaven saw him, he defeated armies with 300 men. You are being called out of the winepress now, out of the hiding place, out of the small story you've told yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. I know it feels vulnerable. I know it feels exposing. But staying hidden is no longer an option. The world needs what you carry. The people you're called to serve need you to stop playing small so they can see what obedience looks like, so they can watch what happens when someone says yes to heaven, regardless of how impossible it seems. Things are about to move fast. What took others 10 years will take you 10 months. What would have required decades of climbing will come through as a divine download. Heaven has a way of making up for lost time. When you step into alignment, suddenly now becomes your new normal. Doors swing open. Provision arrives. The right person says your name in the right room. The dream you buried rises again with a momentum you can't explain. But here's the instruction for this season, and it's critical. You must learn to recognize divine doors versus distractions. Just because something opens doesn't mean you should walk through it. The enemy will offer you seemingly good opportunities that lead to dead ends. He'll tempt you with shortcuts that bypass the character heaven is building. He'll present you with platforms that stroke your ego but don't serve your assignment. How to tell the difference? Peace, not excitement. Divine doors come with deep settled peace, even when everything else is chaotic. Fleshly opportunities come with anxiety disguised as adrenaline. Divine doors align with God's spoken word to you. Distractions pull you away from what you know you're called to. Divine doors demand humility and dependence on God. Distractions make you feel like you've arrived and no longer need so much prayer. Stay discerning, stay humble, stay connected to the source. Because the higher you go, the greater the need for accountability, community, people who love you enough to tell you truth. Isolation is not elevation. If this season of increase is causing you to disconnect from those who know you, question it. True promotion makes you more generous, not more guarded, more grateful, not more entitled, more dependent on God, not more independent. And here's a warning that comes with every awakening. Don't let success make you forget the pit. Don't let comfort make you forget the wilderness. Don't let abundance make you forget what it was like when you didn't know where your next meal was coming from. Because the moment you forget, the moment you begin believing your elevation was due to your talent rather than God's grace, that's when you begin your disqualification. Pride doesn't announce itself with trumpets. It whispers, "You earned this. You deserve this. You did this." And slowly, subtly, it disconnects you from the source of your strength. Joseph remembered this, even when he stood second in command over Egypt. Even when his brothers bowed before him, as the dream foretold, he didn't retaliate. He saw the grander picture. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good, to preserve many lives. Genesis 50:20. That perspective, that ability to see redemption in rejection, blessing in betrayal, is the stamp of someone truly awakened. They're no longer driven by personal vindication. They're living for kingdom impact. That is what you are being called to. Not just to be blessed, but to become a blessing. Not just to walk through your own breakthrough, but to hold the door open for others. Not just to receive your healing, but to carry the anointing to heal others. You are not the finish line of this miracle. You are the distribution center. What God pours into you is meant to flow through you. And that changes everything, because now you're not acting from scarcity anymore. You're not hoarding breakthroughs, guarding territory, worrying someone else's success diminishes yours. You're operating from overflow, from abundance, from a kingdom perspective that understands there is more than enough for everyone called to this work. I see you stepping into rooms you once only dreamed of. I hear of conversations with people who shift entire trajectories. I witness doors opening you did not knock on because heaven opened them from the other side. And it's overwhelming. A part of you still can't believe it's real. A part of you is waiting for the other shoe to drop, for someone to realize they made a mistake choosing you. But hear this clearly. You were not chosen by mistake. You were chosen on purpose, for a purpose. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, before you took your first breath, before you made your first mistake, heaven already knew what this moment would demand and built you accordingly. You are not lucky. You are selected. You are not random. You are intentional. You are not ordinary. You are anointed. And the evidence is already showing. The signs are there. Numbers you keep seeing. Scriptures you cannot ignore. Dreams that feel more real than waking life. Confirmations coming from people who have no way of knowing what God whispered to you in secret. That is not coincidence. It is heaven's signal. I am with you. I am moving. Keep going. Some of you will have encounters that change everything, not church events, but strategic divine appointments where you meet the person with the key you've needed, where you have the conversation that opens the door you couldn't pry open, where you step into the room and everyone there needed exactly what you carry. You will not orchestrate these moments. You will simply show up where God told you to go, speak when God told you to speak, and watch Him connect the dots in ways that will leave you speechless. But you must be ready. You must be prepared. You cannot show up to your divine appointment still rehearsing your wounds. You cannot walk into your breakthrough hauling the chains of your past behind you. There comes a choice. Will you keep being defined by what happened to you, or will you be defined by what God says about you? Will you stay living in the rear-view mirror, or will you focus on where you're headed? This shift demands you let go of bitterness, of unforgiveness, of the need to make everyone understand your story, of the entitlement whispering, God owes me because you've suffered. He doesn't owe you, but He loves you. And His plans for you are far better than anything you could demand or negotiate. But you cannot seize what's coming with your hands still full of what was. You must release. You must surrender. You must trust that what He takes from you is nothing compared to what He brings. This is the sacred realignment, the recalibration of your identity, your purpose, your vision. You're being pulled back into alignment with who you were before the world told you who you should be, before wounds convinced you you were broken beyond repair, before failures made you believe you were disqualified from greatness. Heaven is restoring the original blueprint, the authentic you, the called you, the anointed you. And I tell you now, the version of you about to emerge will shock people who thought they knew you. The boldness rising in you will surprise even you. The clarity you're about to walk in will make your past confusion look like a nightmare. The favor that's about to rest on your life will throw open doors you didn't even know existed. And the naysayers, the doubters, those who counted you out, they are about to watch in awe as God does for you what only He could do. But here's what you must remember through the acceleration. Stay humble, stay grounded, stay grateful. The moment you start thinking you're special because of what God is doing through you, you become useless to Him. You aren't special because of what you carry. What you carry is special, and you were entrusted with it. Big difference. One road leads to pride and collapse. The other leads to stewardship and sustained impact. Walk softly, speak carefully, love radically, forgive quickly, give generously, because those watching you aren't just looking at your success, they're watching how you handle it. They're watching to see if power will corrupt you or mature you. They're watching to see if you become inaccessible or remain humble. And your testimony isn't just about the breakthrough, it's about who you become in the process. You're stepping into a season where your life becomes a living sermon, where your choices preach louder than your words, where your character carries more weight than your credentials. That means the way you treat the person serving you matters. The way you respond when you're disrespected matters. The way you handle your finances matters. The way you honor your commitments matters, because you are no longer just representing you. You're representing the kingdom, and people are watching to see if this God you serve is real or just another religious showroom. Make Him real, make Him tangible. Let them see Jesus in the way you love those who can't repay you. Let them see faith in the way you stand when everything's falling apart. Let them see grace in the way you forgive those who wounded you deeply. Let them see power in the way you stay peaceful when everyone else panics. That is the evidence the world is craving, not your theology, your words, your walk. And as you step into this, as you begin operating in the fullness of who you were created to be, remember this truth that will keep you anchored. This was never about earning God's love. You already have it. This was never about being good enough. You already are. This was always about discovering what was always true, what heaven declared before you had a chance to disqualify yourself. You are loved completely, unconditionally, eternally. You are chosen, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. You are equipped, not because you have all the answers, but because you know the one who does. You are positioned, not because you maneuvered into place, but because God arranged every detail to place you exactly where you need to be for such a time as this. The resistance you feel is confirmation. The intensifying warfare is validation. The creeping doubt is just the enemy's desperation, because he knows time is short and his hold on you is broken. He cannot stop what God has started. He can only try to convince you it isn't real. But you know better. You've seen too much. You've experienced too much. You've been transformed too radically to return to the small story again. So here is my declaration over your life in this moment, and I ask you to receive it in your spirit. The waiting is over. The preparation season has served its purpose. The door is open. The path is clear. The assignment is active. Everything you have been believing for, praying for, contending for is now beginning to manifest in the physical real, not because you forced it, but because it is time, heaven's time, kingdom time, and when God's timing collides with your obedience, impossibilities become inevitabilities. Walk through that door, even if your knees shake. Even if you can't see the full staircase, even if people call you crazy, walk through it. Because on the other side of that threshold lies the life you were born to live. The impact you were created to make. The destiny you were designed to fulfill. Generations are waiting for you to be brave enough to say yes. You are the chosen one, not because you're better than anyone else, but because you're called to something specific. And the evidence is coming. The breakthrough is manifesting. The promise is becoming real. Stand tall, stand firm, stand ready. Because your season of divine activation is not approaching. It is here, right now, in this moment. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will ever be the same again. Now go, walk in your authority, live in your identity, operate in your anointing, and watch heaven move on your behalf in ways that leave no doubt this was always God's plan, always God's timing, always God's faithfulness. You were sent by design. You carry divine DNA. This is your time. Stand up and take your place.